Howdy, guys, and welcome to Cliff Notes, and welcome to night number 62 of the Overnight Feed recaps for Big Brother season 25. Welcome to a Tuesday. I hope y'all are doing fantastic. Let's talk about what happened yesterday. First of all, the big news, the veto ceremony was held. Now, remember, Cameron held the veto. He seemed intent at one point late Monday night on pulling Felicia off the block, putting Corey up as a backdoor option. However, that plan kind of fell apart due to resistance from Jag and Corey having a good late night talk with Cameron that convinced Cameron not to do it. Corey didn't even realize what a threat he was under at the time. And he still managed to convince Cameron not to use the veto. So we did have the veto ceremony yesterday, and Cameron did indeed choose not to use the veto. So come Thursday, we're going to have Nicole, Felicia on the block. I don't know of any twist that would protect one or the other. So with that in mind, probably Felicia's going to go home. But we have had some conversations about maybe it makes more sense to keep Felicia and send Nicole out the door. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about all the feeds that took place yesterday and yesterday evening. So let's just get started with that pretty quickly. Now, we did not see the veto ceremony itself, but it sounds like Felicia really called out not Cameron, but Corey. She told Corey that he was a snake, that he needed to be the next to go. She just saved all her attack for Corey himself. And apparently it was pretty out there. A lot of attacks against him. Apparently a little bit later, Felicia also had words with America. It sounds like America had tried to defend some of Corey's stuff. Felicia wasn't having any of that. So she had words during the ceremony against Corey and then later against America as well. Now, here's the thing. I get the desire. You're upset. Felicia may have really thought that the back door of Corey was in play, that she was going to be safe. She was caught off guard. I get that as a knee jerk reaction, you want to lash out at people and let them know what you think about them. But maybe not the best thing to do when you now know that you're on the block, that you're going to have to be fighting for votes on Thursday. Maybe not call out the same people that you may be begging for votes on down the road. But yeah, Felicia's not real happy that she's still on the block. All right, let's talk about the feeds themselves. We're going to start a little bit before the veto ceremony because we've got a conversation or two that's worth talking about, and then we'll move on to last night and everything that happened. All right, before the ceremony, we had Felicia asking America to please tell Cameron that Felicia was fine if he backdoored Corey instead. Well, yeah, I'm sure Felicia was perfectly fine with that. But yeah, she was telling America to please go pitch a backdoor of Corey to Cameron. Why did she think that America would do that? Well, first of all, America did not do it. America said, I'm not throwing Corey under the bus like that. So I appreciate the suggestion, but no, I'm not going to do it. Now, why did Felicia think that that would ever go over with America? Well, it's because Felicia was suggesting that she wants an all-woman women's alliance, and because she wanted all the women united in trying to backdoor Corey. So, yeah, she was pitching this idea of let's get all the women together. We'll get out Corey. We'll make things happen. She's talked about an all women's alliance before, so I don't think it's just because she's on the block. But certainly that doesn't hurt any in terms of why she's wanting to get it done. It doesn't matter. It's not going to happen. America said no. And as we know now, obviously it didn't happen because Felicia's still on the block. But it was interesting hearing kind of the way Felicia was trying to save herself going into that veto ceremony. All right, we had Cameron talking to Bowie Jane, saying that Blue thought or thinks that she's in a group with Matt and Jag and Cameron, that Blue thinks she's part of a group of four with those other three. And Cameron saying, but in reality, Blue is not in that group. You are, Bowie Jane. It's you and me and Matt and Jag. We are in a group of four and not Blue, but she doesn't realize that. And again, he tells Bowie Jane, says, not only that, but you're my number one. I hope you understand it, that you are my number one person here. They're not calling it a final two, but they might as well the way he talks about it. All right, we've got Cameron talking to Corey, telling Corey he wants a 5-person alliance of himself and Jag and Matt and Corey and America. So Bowie's not in there, is it? Did I get that wrong? I don't think so. Him and Jag and Matt and Corey and America. All right. Sorry, Bowie. Saying Blue that was begging him to backdoor Corey. Cameron's not making any mention of the fact that Cameron was any part of this idea to backdoor Corey. He's blaming it all on Blue. He's going to maintain that all day yesterday, last night. Corey is worried about Matt and Jag and Blue's relationship, and that Matt and Jag won't want to get rid of Blue. He's saying, obviously I'm happy to get rid of Blue, but I know Matt and Jag are close to her, so I don't know how that affects our relationship. So I'm just not real sure how to handle that. He is saying that he trusts that Cameron isn't gunning for him, that's not the gameplay. Well, not right now, but it was certainly talked about earlier, Corey, and it may be talked about again a little bit later. But he's basically saying, Cameron, I trust you. Yeah, this group of five, I'm fine with it. Let's go and make it happen. Not the biggest amount of trust between those two, but they're going to try to make it work. All right, we've got Corey talking to America about this back door that Cameron has revealed that Blue was pushing. They're both saying, we're not really surprised that Blue is really trying to lead a charge to backdoor you, Corey. We understand that. No surprise there. But what they're both a little worried about is the fact that supposedly Blue was pushing this, and that supposedly Matt and Jag were resisting it. Well, Jag was, but they think Matt and Jag both were resisting it. And yet Matt and Jag never told America or Corey about this plan by Blue. So they're a little bit worried. Why wouldn't they tell us that? Why wouldn't they pull us in if we're truly as tight as we think we are? So that's raising some concern with the two of them. So with that, we had the veto ceremony that took place. Felicia calling out Corey, calling out America, etc. So now let's get into the feeds afterwards. We've got Cameron telling Jag that he told Corey already that it was all Blue pushing the backdoor plan. He said, I'm not saying anything else. Blue is the only one behind it, and I just want you to know because and I'm saying that you and Matt both resisted. Y'all are the ones that fought against it. And he said that Corey's going to come talk to you about it later. So I just want to make sure we got our story right. It was all Blue. No one else talked about anything, right? Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. So they have that America and Bowie and Matt all saying that they're glad that Felicia isn't going to be going to jury because they're showing just how bitter a juror that she would actually be based on the way she's acting after the veto ceremony itself. So again, America, Bowie, and Matt all seeming like they're very much inclined to just go ahead and send Felicia out the door before any veto or before any jury takes place. Now, from Matt's standpoint, Felicia's already said that she'd love to see Matt win this thing. I'm not sure if I'm Matt, I'm quite as inclined to send her out the door as perhaps America would be, and Bowie perhaps as well. All right, we do have Felicia talking to Cameron. She's asking Cameron and Jag, saying, I called them out. I yelled at them. How badly did I blow up my game doing that? And Cameron's response was fantastic. Cameron said, what game? Right there for Felicia. What game are you talking about? So yeah, that was pretty funny. He's saying that, your game is probably already blown up, Felicia. So it's probably good that you got it off your chest. At one point, a little bit later, Cameron tells Felicia, says, look, just enjoy the rest of the time that you've got in here. It is what it is, and just don't let it get to you. Have fun while you're in here. And that things could change. Don't ever do not go gently into the night, Felicia. Fight to the very end, but it's not looking good right now. But we know this house, right? But yeah, Cameron's saying, yeah, it's good you got it off your chest because it's probably not going to make a difference anyway, Felicia. All right, we've got Corey talking to Blue, telling Blue that Felicia wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for him and America flipping the vote to save Felicia over Izzy when they were on the block together. So he's saying, I get it. Or I don't get it. He's saying, we didn't save Felicia because of any huge alliance with her. But still, we saved her to get out Izzy. And she doesn't even recognize that she's only here because we saved her last time. But Felicia doesn't really care about that. She's looking at the here and now. All right, we've got Jag and Corey talking to each other. Jag is confirming or backing up the story to Corey that Blue was behind this. She was pitching the backdoor at Corey. He's saying, man, Matt and myself, we fought it. We made sure it didn't happen. Jag is saying that he had told Cameron that Corey was gunning for Blue. And therefore, what it was another reason that why would you ever want to backdoor Corey? Corey's going to go after Blue. Yeah, he's going to be valuable to this team. So Jag actually is throwing out some reasons why they were resistant to a plan to backdoor Corey at that point in time. Jag is also telling Corey, do not trust Blue. Anything she says when you talk to her, just don't trust her. Is he a little worried that Blue may say that there was a little bit more move than they're letting on about how close it was to getting Corey out the door? Perhaps that's why he's getting at. But he's saying, don't trust Blue. And Corey's saying, look, I agree. I understand completely. He says, Blue just approached me about going after Cameron next week already. She's already now talking about that we need to go after Cameron. So yeah, he's a little bit suspicious of Blue, as there are a few different people. All right, Jag is saying that he feels better with working with Cameron than with Blue. Remember, there's been talk about getting Cameron out as well. So balance it out. Blue versus Cameron. Who do you want to see gone? And Jag is saying, the two of them, I feel better with Cameron than I do with Blue right now. Are we at Corey talking about the whole point of them getting at Jared was to drive Blue to them? He's saying, but really, she's going the opposite direction. She's going further and further away from us here lately. It's not what we counted on. So yeah, feeling like they just don't have Blue in hand at this point in time, and they don't. All right, they both agree that they're going to fill Cameron in on all this Blue stuff that Blue is continuing to mention, trying to go after Cameron and everything that she's trying to say. Blue's going to be doing the same thing to Cameron about Corey, I'm sure. Corey's saying that he'd like to smooth things over with Blue. He'd love to figure out some way to get them not to go after each other so much. But he's saying the only way he can do that, really, he thinks, is by bashing Cameron to Blue. And if he does that, he knows that Blue's going to carry those Cameron bashing comments right back to Cameron and hurt his relationship with Corey, between Corey and Cameron. So he doesn't figure out a way that he can really work with Blue and make these things better than they are right now. All right, Jag is talking about a little bit more, saying, look, Blue is the only one who would have benefited from a backdoor view, Corey. I hope you understand that. And the last thing we're going to do is do dirty work for Blue. She is the only one that wanted it to happen, the only one who would have benefited from it. So you're good. I hope you understand that. There is talk about what happens if Blue was to win an HOH. They're both figuring that, yeah, Corey goes on the block automatically, but who goes up alongside him? The hope is that it wouldn't be anyone from their little group, and it probably wouldn't be. They've kind of settled that maybe it could be Corey and potentially Mecole would be the other person to go on the block. So they think they could work around that in terms of vote, make sure that Corey stays safe. Corey is suggesting that they should really start subtly turning Cameron and Blue against each other, so that if Blue was to win HOH, hopefully she goes after Corey and Cameron, and they could maybe get at Cameron at that point. And so that's the game plan going forward, is make sure that Blue has some targets bigger than Corey at this point in time. All right, we've got Felicia and Jag talking to one another. Felicia continuing to throw Corey under the bus. She's saying that Corey had told her all these lies about Jared when I guess Jared was on the block earlier, that there's all kinds of lies that he's told about Felicia and Mecole having a final two. Well, they did have a final two, but she's saying that Corey lied about that, lied about all the stuff that Jared said, and on and on and on. She just is not stopping. She's full ammo against Corey at this point in time to Jag. And meanwhile, while that's going on, Corey is talking to Mecole, and he's saying, look, I don't know where all this hate from Felicia is coming from. I just don't really understand it. Mecole saying, I'm just being me and she can be her and we're not the same and all of that. And he's telling Mecole, saying, look, I was friends with you before you were even friends with Felicia. We've been friends for a while, and I hope that's still the case. He's saying all of this right now, this campaigning, all this Felicia throwing hate at me, not. He says, I hope that doesn't change our relationship between the two of us, and that I still want to work with you going forward. Nothing has changed with regard to that. And he does not want Mecole. His big concern, he says, I don't want you to think that I've been playing you somehow because of anything that Felicia says, and that he's worried about what Felicia may say, what she may make up in order to attack him. And he just wants Felicia to know that, wants Mecole to know that the two of them are still tight. Nothing has changed with that, regardless of what Felicia has said or may say against Corey. So he's trying to keep that relationship as strong as possible. I don't know how strong it's going to be going forward. He expresses some concern a little bit later. He doesn't know if he still has Mecole or not. All right, we've got Matt and Jag discussing the possibility of keeping Felicia and voting out Mecole. So yeah, we knew that was going to happen, right? No matter how strong you think the target is, there's always a possibility. So yeah, Matt and Jag saying, yeah, maybe there's something to be said for going ahead and holding on to Felicia. One consideration is that Mecole is a much better competition player. They think she has a much better chance of winning HOHs and vetoes than Felicia. Now, Mecole hadn't won anything yet. Felicia has won an HOH, but Felicia's HOH was just a random hit a ball into a slot. They think Mecole actually is much more likely to win something going forward. So, why get out Felicia who can't win anything? Let's go ahead and maybe get out Mecole instead. So they are talking about that. They're saying that if we got her out, that on that other side of the house, Blue is maybe the only person left that has a chance at winning some competition. So it certainly becomes easier for us to just cycle through the HOHs and vetoes week after week. So that's what the consideration is. At that point, while they're talking about that, Felicia joins them and says to Matt and Jag that America and Corey just don't deserve to win this game because they haven't had to show their hands so far, and it's not fair. They shouldn't be able to coast that way to the very end. Whatever you can do to make it to the very end. The fact they haven't had to supposedly show their hands shows why they maybe deserve it more than if they've had to show their hand. They figured out a way around it. But Felicia still saying they don't deserve to win. Oh, she would be such a bitter juror if she stays in this house going forward. All right, later, Matt and Jagger are talking some more. Now, Bowie Jane's in there talking with them as well. Talking again about maybe it being better to get Mecole out. Some more addition to that, in addition to her being the better comp player, Mecole, they're talking about the fact that, look, Mecole and Felicia probably have the same targets. They talk enough, they're tight enough. Whoever Felicia goes after, Mecole will probably go after as well. So it's not as though we're eliminating a threat from a who would put us up kind of situation. Either way, it's probably going to be the same thing. So it's all just about who has the best chance to put those plans into play. And again, they think that's more Mecole than Felicia. But as much as they're kind of talking about this, they don't want to be the ones leading the charge for anything like this. So they've all agreed that, yeah, it's something we could consider, but let's wait for someone else to throw out that idea. And then maybe will jump on board, maybe not, but let's let someone else make the initial proposal. We'll keep it amongst ourselves for right now. Keep an eye on that. Someone will suggest it at some point, I do believe. All right, we've got Felicia talking to Cirie, saying that she wants to talk to Corey and America separately from one another, so she can probably throw each other under the bus, I imagine, because she says she's going to tell America that her man Corey didn't protect America at all, and that America doesn't get to talk to Felicia like that. Again, she's a little upset the words that were had afterwards, so she's just going to tell America, you can't talk to me like that, and if you think your man's protecting you, you got another thing coming, because that is not the case. Is Felicia so certain that she doesn't have a chance to stay in this game, that she's willing to just blow everything up instead of trying to campaign for votes? It certainly sounds like that. Now, here's the thing. Could it, in a very weird way, actually help Felicia doing that? If Felicia calls out and attacks so many people and isolates her so much from everyone else, is there going to be a point where there may be some people in this house who say, you know what? She's kind of on an island. There's no way that anyone's going to work with her going forward. So maybe there's even more impetus to get out Mecole and just kind of leave Felicia out there floundering and not really having a prayer in the world. So I'm not sure if that's Felicia's game plan. I don't think we're talking Dan's birthday type Dan's funeral. I'm thinking Bowie's birthday. I don't think we're talking about Dan's funeral type thinking ahead strategy coming from Felicia right now. But the more she blows up her game and makes it look like no one's going to have any support going forward with her or working relationships, the more maybe she helps herself convince people to keep her a little bit longer. We'll find out. All right, we've got Corey and America talking to each other. Corey's worried because he knows they don't have Blue, but he's really thinking he may not have Mecole either because of her tight relationship with Felicia and Felicia just bringing the hate. So he's worried about both of them. he does mention at one point that he thinks Cameron could win it all the way Cameron's playing the game, but he also thinks that people are going to want to cut him at a Final Four. He actually mentions my name, talks about our season and the fact that we cut Tommy at the very end just because we thought he was such a big comp threat, and that it could be a similar situation going forward with Cameron once you get to the very end. But he thinks Cameron's in a position he could go a long way up until that point in time. All right, we've got Matt and Jag and Bowie and Cameron in the HOH room. Now, first of all, it's kind of funny. At one point, America's looking for them. They had some fun last night hiding in the shower, trying to hide from her. She came up, everyone's gone. She thought she'd heard voices, everyone disappeared. Eventually, they come out. They try to sneak past her. They're laughing so much she catches them. But that was kind of funny. But we've got Matt and Jag and Bowie and Cameron all up there talking. Cameron is talking about Corey having no clue how tight this four is, not realizing that he's on the outside edge of this group of people. It's really these four that are the tightest components. Now, what Cameron doesn't realize is that really it's kind of Matt and Jag and Bowie Jane who are the core three. Cameron's kind of the next level at four. Then you've got America and Corey at 5 and 6 on the outer layer. So, yeah, but Cameron's saying that he has no clue how we are, the four of us that are in here. Corey soon after that comes in, and he's talking about the fact that Blue is taking things that Corey said 3 or 4 days ago about Cameron and bringing it back up and trying to create controversy and stuff because of that. Jag is saying, look, Blue is just cooking stuff up at this point in time. We have got to get her out. She's here just to blow games up, and she's just going to create chaos. We have got to get her gone. Jag is mentioning at one point that Corey had brought up saving Jag says, Corey's talking about saving Felicia. So yeah, just so y'all know. And Corey immediately saying, yeah, that's not the way it went. They had joked, Corey and Jag had joked earlier, just the two of them. I think they were playing pool, saying, yeah, what if we just save Felicia? And they did a 5-2 vote. And so Jag's bringing that up and saying, yeah, Corey wants to save Felicia. And Corey's saying, well, now, let's, hold your horses here just a little bit about that. But he is laughing. He's saying, yeah, it's because I've got Felicia's jury vote locked in, right? Yeah, that's what I want to do is save Felicia. So that is funny that they brought that up, though. But is that a reason that maybe Matt would want to keep Felicia? Forget the competition, Nicole being a better competitor and all that. Is there incentive for Matt to want to keep Felicia just because Felicia's already said that she would love to see Matt being one of the 4 people that she wants to see win this game? Yeah, I think so. Why is he going to be in a big hurry to get her out the door? If he thinks that he's got her vote locked. Corey doesn't, but Matt may have the vote locked. So, yeah, it may be some consideration for Matt. Corey's laughing, saying, yeah, we could all vote to save Felicia. Nicole goes home, a 5-2 vote. And Cirie and Blue are on the wrong side of the vote. We create all kinds of chaos over there. Wouldn't that be great? Cameron looks at him and says, funny, but yeah, no, we're not doing that. They're not going to do that, but it would be funny. All right. We've got finally a couple more things. Bowie, Jane and Blue are talking to each other. Both of them feeling pretty good about Cirie. Does Bowie Jane really feel good about Cirie? Maybe not as much as Blue does, but they're both agreeing to that. Bowie is saying that Felicia had pitched to her a kind of interesting idea. Felicia had said, hey, look, keep me on board. If you save me, I will blow up the house. I'll go after Corey, America. I'll make all these big moves from now until Final Five. And at Final Five, y'all vote me out. I'll have done what I could do, and then I'll willingly go. Well, first of all, no one willingly goes at Final Five, Final Four, Final Three, etc. That's not going to happen. And 2, you have to win some competitions to make these big moves. And I don't know that she's going to be able to convince Bowie Jane that Felicia's the comp beast is going to have the power to make these big moves. But Bowie Jane saying that's what she pitched to me, telling Blue that. All right, we've got Matt and Jag talking some more at the very end. Jag's asking Matt if he has an alliance of any sort with Cirie. And Matt doesn't really answer. He kind of dances around the question a little bit. Eventually, Matt says something about Cirie is probably closer to Blue than to either of them. You got to worry about Blue and Cirie, not me, right? Alliance, yeah, it's Cirie and Blue. Don't worry about me, Jag. But Jag does ask a question, which means that Jag's thinking about that. The two of them are tight, but they know that probably there's other relationships out there as well. So he did ask that question. When they're talking about their final three, with Bowie Jane as being their top choice, their top alliance of who they want to work with going forward, I could see those three going a long way. I'm fine with it. I kind of would like to see that. I think that's good. But yeah, Matt and Jag and Bowie Jane is the final three. But they're also talking about their final four alliance with Matt and Jag, Corey, and America, and mentioning that earlier, Corey and America had actually wanted to go ahead and name their alliance. Why does everyone want to name their alliance? I never wanted to name any of my alliances. If you got a name out there, it just becomes more of a target. Now, I know production pushes people to name alliances and all that. I'm sure that's the case, but they're saying, yeah, Corey and America want to name this final four alliance we've got with them. They're a little hesitant to do so. The fact that they're not real willing to name it tells me that they truly don't see that alliance as nearly as strong as the one they've got with Bowie Jane. So, but they are laughing about saying, yeah, we can, they came up with a few names, but nothing solid, and they're not really into it. But Corey and America are. They talked about it a lot more earlier. So we'll see if a Final Four alliance name gets developed here over the next day or two. All right. They want to make sure at first they're saying, let's not tell Bowie Jane about this Corey America alliance, and let's not tell Corey and America about our alliance with Bowie Jane. But then as they talk about it a little bit more, they start shifting this, saying, well, if we're going to be tight with Bowie Jane, should we tell her about America and Corey so that she's not caught off guard, so she understands that, yeah, we kind of have this, but it's not real. It's really with you. So there's actually more talk that maybe they will tell Bowie Jane at some point, not tonight, but at some point in the future. So they talk about that. And then finally, Matt mentions that he's afraid that Cameron maybe has some kind of a secret alliance with America and Corey, that he's spreading. He's got relationships with everyone. Everyone's trying to do that. But yes, they are worried that Cameron's not as up and tight with them as he acts like he is. Just like they're not as tight with Cameron as they're acting like it. Welcome to Big Brother. But yeah, they are questioning who has alliances with who. And that's what we're going to get a lot of for the rest of the week. Because other than this possibility of maybe Felicia getting safe, for the most part, it's all about what happens in the next HOH. Who are we truly close to? Who are we just gassing up and not really having the alliances with? You're going to have more and more of that as we go forward, I'm afraid. So there you have it, guys. The main thing, Felicia and Nicole still on the block. Felicia, for now at least, going home. Felicia trying to blow up the house as much as she can. And Blue and Felicia having a contest to see who can go after Corey the fastest and the hardest, and we shall see. And with that, guys, I'm going to shut it down. Y'all have a fantastic rest of the day. I will be back to tomorrow morning to let you know what. We'll see if Felicia has miraculously saved her game at some point. Who knows? But until then, guys, y'all have a great one. SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Bye.